Okay, so there's this huge new bridge being built right now between the worlds of traditional finance and crypto. And we're not talking about a small one. This is a project designed to unlock the value of trillions of dollars in real-world assets, bringing them directly onto the blockchain. Let's dive in and see how it all works.
So just think about this for a second. Imagine your investments, things like US Treasury bonds, weren't just sitting in an account somewhere. What if they were active, liquid, and generating value for you around the clock every single day of the year? That's really the fundamental promise behind what we're going to explore today.
All right, to really get a grip on the scale here, let's start with this number, $25 billion. That's the value of what we call real-world assets, or RWAs, that have already been brought onto the blockchain.
But, and this is a big but, here's the catch. While that $25 billion is technically on-chain, it's been pretty much stuck. It's like having a high-performance sports car that you can only drive up and down your own driveway. The potential is massive, but it's been trapped.
And that right there brings us to the heart of the problem, a fundamental divide between two parallel financial universes that just haven't been able to connect. On one side, you've got traditional finance, with assets like stocks and government bonds running on these old-school legacy systems with, 9-to-5 market hours. And on the other side, you have decentralized finance, or DeFi, which is all digital, totally transparent, and runs 24/7. These two worlds just haven't been speaking the same language, well, until now.
So, the big question is, how do you actually build a bridge over that gap? Well, the key is this really cool technology called tokenization. It's basically the blueprint for unleashing the true power of those $25 billion in assets.
So what is it exactly? Well, put simply, tokenization is just the process of creating a digital certificate of ownership for a real-world asset and then placing that certificate on a blockchain. Think of it like creating a digital twin for your investment. The process itself, surprisingly straightforward. First, you start with a real asset, say a US Treasury bill. Next, a unique digital token gets created on the blockchain that basically says, hey, I represent this specific bill. But it's step 3 that is the real game changer. That token can now be used as collateral, it can be traded or lent out within the DeFi ecosystem, 24/7.
Okay, so if tokenization is the blueprint, who's the one with the hard hat on actually building this bridge? Let's take a look at a new platform called Aave Horizon.
Aave Horizon is a platform that's been purpose-built for the big players. We're talking institutions. It allows them to take their tokenized real-world assets, like those treasury funds we mentioned, and use them as collateral to borrow stablecoins like USDC. It's really the first major, practical application of this bridge.
And listen, the upgrade here is it's massive. Instead of being locked into traditional market hours and slow settlements, institutions get 24/7 on-demand access to liquidity. It's a fundamental leap from a slow, kind of murky system to one that's super efficient, totally transparent, and built for the digital age. And don't think for a second this is some small experiment. Just look at the names who showed up for launch day. You've got massive asset managers, we're talking Van Eck and WisdomTree, and you've got key crypto infrastructure players like Circle and Chainlink. This is a major move from some of the biggest players in both finance and tech.
So, with this bridge now in place, what does the world look like on the other side? And maybe more importantly, what does this all mean for the future of finance?
This quote from the CEO of Centrifuge really hits the nail on the head. The real innovation isn't just creating the token, it's about what happens next. It's all about utility, using that asset in brand new, programmable ways that were just flat out impossible before. Now, for any of this to work, you absolutely need trust, right? And that's where a partner like Chainlink is so crucial. They provide real-time, on-chain data about the value of these assets. This allows the whole lending process to be automated and secure because it's all based on live, verifiable valuations.
As Chainlink's co-founder Sergey Nazarov puts it, this isn't just another new product. It signals the next evolutionary stage of the entire DeFi industry. We're talking about maturity, institutional adoption, and finally connecting with that multi-trillion-dollar world of traditional assets.
So the question this all leaves us with is a really big one. With these institutional giants stepping in and the technology finally bridging the gap, are we literally watching the very beginning of a grand merger between Wall Street and the blockchain? Only time will tell, but the foundations, they are clearly being laid right now.